What is the ideal market for buyers? The economy is always fluctuating up and down. And the housing market is part of that. There is no doubt that if you had a choice, you would want to buy your home in a buyer's market. A buyer's market, as you might have guessed, is a time when the buyers, not the sellers, have the advantage. Whether a local market favors buyers over sellers is a direct result of how it functions. In a buyer's market, sellers need to provide the most attractive offer to a limited number of purchasers. In a seller's market, where there are a great deal of purchasers competing for a limited number of homes, often leads to bidding wars and houses being offered well above asking price. However, even if you're in a buyer's market, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to complete the purchase for the lower price you desire and get all the concessions you want as well. A seller might be in a position to endure a tough market, or they might have a property that's desirable enough that it will get multiple bids regardless of what the larger market is doing. What does it mean to time the market? Timing the marketplace is a bit more complex than just waiting on the housing market to flip from a seller's market to a buyer's market, something that can take months or even years of waiting. When individuals discuss timing the market, they're normally referring to investing. Financiers who attempt to time the market want to always buy low and eventually sell high. They might use the properties as rental properties. As a hopeful home buyer, your version of timing the market is most likely waiting on home mortgage rates to fall, or waiting for a dip in the market when houses end up being more affordable and sellers are more motivated. Given that a home is such a big purchase, it can make sense to wait for a time when you'll have the ability to get the very best offer. But timing the market is tricky, even for the experts. Due to the fact that nobody can understand with certainty what direction the economy will go any given minute. It's extremely tough to understand when it's reached a peak or when it has hit the bottom. Whether you're waiting for the very best mortgage rates or the lowest home costs, attempting to time the real estate market can be a time-consuming and often futile procedure. Should you wait for a recession? As we currently pointed out, there's been a great deal of talk recently about whether an economic downturn will materialize anytime soon. Some house buyers will wait on a bigger drop in the market, wishing to score on a great home for a low price. But while the last economic downturn provided some buyers the opportunity to enter into a home at a bargain cost, that might not hold true with the next downturn. The conditions we are presently in are much different than the conditions ahead of the Great Recession. When the recession happens this time around, numerous real estate professionals predict that house prices won't fall substantially. For example, what if the economic downturn forces you to lose your employment? Then, getting approved for a mortgage is a lot more difficult, if not impossible. Concentrate on what you can control. You'd most likely be better off focusing on the factors that are within your control when it comes to buying a house. For example, seasonality affects the real estate market in a relatively predictable way. Waiting for the ideal season or month to buy a house can help you get a much better offer than if you were to purchase throughout the peak season. Normally speaking, house sales activity peaks in the summertime. This makes good sense. People choose to move in the summer, when kids are on break and the weather condition makes the physical job of moving easier. If you're okay with less options to select from, you can likely get a reasonable bargain on a home during this non-peak time of the year. It's also an excellent concept to do a truth check and be practical about the costs you can manage. If you're imagining a home that's somewhat out of reach and hoping a down market could make the too expensive homes more inexpensive for you, you're most likely much better off utilizing that energy to consider homes you can easily manage right now. The real right time to buy. It may sound cliché, however it's true. The best time to buy a home is when you're ready. The house buying process can have some hurdles in it and requires a good amount of preparation on the part of the purchaser. Plus, there's a huge emotional component also, especially for first-time house purchasers. Here are some questions to help you prepare for the buying process. Is your credit history adequate? Just how much debt do you have? Do you have a constant, reliable source of income? Do you feel ready for the responsibility of being a property owner? Conditions can change at the drop of a hat, and even the most experienced of financial experts have difficulty predicting just what will take place next. Purchase a house when you're all set to do so, without thinking too much about whether it's the best time to buy. We hope you found this information to be useful. Looking to buy a home in the Raleigh, North Carolina area? Breezy Real Estate is ready to help. 919-752-4321